Hello, everybody. This is Bart Bettiga, the publisher of Tile Letter Magazine, executive director of National Tile Contractors Association. And I've kind of got a little bit of a fun guest for me today. It's someone I've known for many, many years in the tile business, Real Bourdage. And Real, are you a director of strategic planning, or tell me the title with MAPEI Corporation?
Yeah. Hey, Bart. The title is Director of Strategic Marketing. So within MAPEI, that encompasses essentially the product line management. We have a team of product line managers that oversee the various product categories we operate in, and so I work with that team. And then also I have the other hat, which is responsibility for our customers in the retail channel sales.
In the
So
retail channel.
yeah,
Okay.
so Lowe's, Floor and Decor, for example.
Excellent.
So it's two hat has sales and then strategic direction of where the company is going. So
That's great. Well, MAPEI Corporation is a strong partner of NTCA and Tile Letter. And the reason I said this is kind of fun is I'm also introducing you as our 2023 recipient of the Joe Tarver Award, which is an award we give as, and you know, Joe, and we'll talk about that for a second, but it's an award we give to someone that we feel has made significant contributions to the tile industry throughout their entire career. So this is not a 1 year award. It's something we take very seriously, and it's someone generally, Real, who's been in the business for a long time and who we think has made a difference. So how does that feel to be named that recipient? And then we'll talk about why we named you that.
okay. Well, when I saw you at the surfaces and you approached me about this, I just felt tremendously honored because I never really worked or did anything with the purpose of getting any kind of recognition. Recognition for me is when I wake up in the morning and do a great day at work and also at home and so on. That's the recognition I need. So I never really thought about any of this. I was very surprised, positively surprised, and really appreciative that you and the board and the executive committee thought of me, this French Canadian guy from Montreal, So I appreciate it, and it was really an incredible surprise. I called my wife right away after that, and she wasn't familiar with the award, but then I shared it with my kids and so on, and everybody was really proud. So I am tremendously honored and proud to have received that. So.
That's great. And for those of our listeners who do not know who Joe Tarver was, Joe was the NTCA executive director, publisher of Tile Letter Magazine, my predecessor for 30 years. So from 1972 to 2002, we named this award after Joe. And previous recipients include prestigious people like Dr. Sven Hovman from Crossville, Werner Schluter from Schluter Systems, just to name a few. Many, many deserving people have received this recognition. Real, you've been with MAPEI since 2010, I believe, but
Yes.
can you, for our listeners, tell us a little bit about your background? You said you're a French Canadian. Obviously, you probably speak fluent French and English. But how did you get into the tile business? And share us a little about your career path and what led you to MAPEI.
All right. Well, it's a career path that goes back to 1988. So I started in Canada, in Montreal, with the H.B. Fuller Company. I was on the industrial chemical side of the business, and then started in 1980. And then in '88, the company approached me to move to Chicago and work with the at the time, which was a tech division of H.B. Fuller, and after that, when I joined, it became a subsidiary. And so I worked there for 4 years. That was my initial introduction to the business. I worked with a gentleman, I'm sure you remember, Frank Devlin. He was a very instrumental person in getting me involved in the business. So I started with them as their CFO, and then eventually evolved into getting positions and operations like managing the warehouse and shipping and other areas. So that got me in my head to say, you know what, I want to stop counting beans. I want to make beans happen. That's what I thought to myself. So then the company, for 4 years, then I was there from 88 to 92. Then in 92, the company transferred me back to Canada to become the president of HB Fuller Canada, which I did 92 to 96. Then 96, they relocated me to the headquarters in the Twin Cities, worked there for 2 years, and then they asked me to return to tech in 1998. So I became re-involved in the industry in 98, and I've been ever since. 2000, my buddy Rick and Magallanes talked to me and convinced me to join them in Aquamix in the West Coast. It's from Chicago. So it didn't take me too long to say yes. I'm going to move to the West Coast, and so worked with Aquamix all those years until the acquisition in 2006 by Custom. And then after that, at Custom, I became the vice president of international business, chartered with developing the custom business overseas. So it gave me a lot of opportunity to explore the world. And then 2010, with the recession, my position was eliminated essentially, which had never have been unemployed since I was 19 years old. Right. And then luckily, Luigi, Dr. Squinzi, and Nick Di Tempora got a hold of me, and things opened up at the right time with with Customs. Sorry, with MAPEI. And then I've been with MAPEI for all that time, 12 years, going on 13 in August of this year.
So tell me a little bit about your MAPEI, the people that you work with and the company MAPEI. I mean, this is an international leader in not just the tile industry, but in the flooring industry and in concrete restoration. What have you found to be fascinating? And obviously you found a home there, because it's been, 13 years and probably leading to the last job that you'll ever have.
Cross my fingers that that's true. And a couple of things, I was lucky enough to have different experiences in past careers. I worked for a large multinational company in HB Fuller. That was my first exposure. Publicly traded company also. So that brought a different perspective. Then I went to work with Aquamix, which was a family-owned business, very nice ambiance, and really cared about family and so on. But then Custom, I had the privilege of working under a private equity administration, which brings a different perspective on the business model, for sure. But then with MAPEI, what I found is kind of the best of both worlds, where you have the benefits, the advantages, the various power that you get of being a multinational involved in 38, 39 countries at the moment, but at the same time being family owned. So to me, the things that struck me the most when I joined was during the recession back in 2008 to 2011. MAPEI, I just came from a company that was eliminating jobs, and MAPEI was hiring the people that got eliminated. And so they were building their team. They didn't have the short-term perspective of the monthly results or quarterly results. They have a long-term perspective under Dr. Squinzi's leadership. And so that impressed me. But then I realized that it was not just that. It was truly in the family spirit. When Dr. Squinzi, or even now Marco and Veronica, come and so on, they remember everybody. They talk to everybody. And I often talk to people that work with me and my team, say, I'm so glad that, he took the time to talk to me one-on-one. But that's what MAPEI is. It is a family business. They want to know everybody that works in the company. So that impressed me tremendously, along with the other benefits that come to be part of a large company like that. So
great. What would you say? I know you're a very humble person, but what would you say you're the most proud of? Some of the highlights of your career over the years, probably in particular with MAPEI, but even in your other aspects. What are the things that, when we're all done, that you would say you'd like to be remembered by?
That's a tough question, because I don't think about that myself, but I think from the work standpoint, um, I'd like people to kind of remember that I've always treated everybody equally. Always I gave everybody a chance to be their best. I always like to mentor people in the company. I can be a fun guy also, and you know that we have had some great times together. Remember Vancouver where we had our trip with the
Our
NTCA
five-star event in
5 star,
Vancouver.
yeah. So I think for me, there's contributions to work, of course, coming out with great new products and so on, but that's not a reflection of me. It's a reflection of the team we have working on these things. But probably to me is to develop the next generation of leaders in the company and continuing to do that until the time comes to say bye-bye. And personally, I think having raised two wonderful children is probably my most important accomplishment, and two children that have great careers. Unfortunately, we live far away from each other. They're on the West Coast and the center of the country, but still, uh, family is important to me. My current family with my wife Sandra and everybody. I mean, it's just that would be, if I was my headstone on my tomb would be somebody that was there for people when they needed me to be there. And so that's what I think. So like I said, I'm not one to brag about myself, and I've never done that. So
Yeah, no, completely understand. So, it was interesting when you gave me your background because I've known you for a long time, but you have a unique background in the sense that you were CFO. So
mhm,
there's the financial background, and then yet you are highly personable. You've been involved in marketing and business and strategy, working on the retail side with companies as significant as Lowe's and Floor and Decor. So,
mhm,
what have you found? What made you able to flourish in both realms, which are highly different aspects of a career? And what have
yeah.
you found to be challenging? And what would you share with people, heading into their careers on how they should prepare themselves to either on the financial side or the management side
Mhm.
to be prepared to build a career like yours, which seems so diverse.
Well, I think the first thing I would say is that understanding numbers is critical.
Yeah.
Not only figuring them out, but understanding the numbers. If you're going to become somebody in the general management area or sales or marketing, whatever, understanding the basic fundamentals of finance is a key element. So that was good for me, because any job that I took after that, I didn't have to worry about that aspect of the role. It was always like riding a bicycle. You get back to the old knowledge that you have. But probably the most challenging initially was I was kind of a pretty quiet, shy guy when you go back 20, 22 years ago, 23 years ago. And so working through that and becoming a lot more confident, that came with the recognition I was getting from my managers, or my people I worked with, the friendships I made. So that built a lot more confidence in myself, which then allowed me to evolve more into the sales and the general management. But most important thing is if you get into a general management role, the most important thing, and I know it's cliche, but it's the people you work with. And I've always put myself in their shoes when I was considering anything. So, for example, short example is when I was president of HB for Canada, or Tech. I used to spend a week, a year in every plant working the production line, because I needed to understand that job. It's one of the important jobs that we have in the companies that I worked with, and that allowed me not only to see how that worked, but also spend time with people that do that job day in and day out. And they are the best to come up with solutions that sometimes are really not that significant into making a change. So listening to people, open door policies, all these things. I've been taught, I've been mentored lucky to be mentored by people that have embraced that attitude with managing people. So I think those are the couple of things that I would say. Understand the business, the planning, the finance, but at the same time, take care of the people, worry about them, and that, I think, you'll be a successful person.
That's really good advice. Finally, you're receiving this award from the NTCA, but we're really considering this award as an industry award. And as you described your background with H.B. Fuller Tech, you mentioned a long time pretty good friend of mine that I've forgot, Emmanuel Magallanes from Aquamix, and
Yeah.
Rick Baldini, I believe you mentioned, and
Yeah.
so Aquamix, and then the leaders of the family-owned business at Custom Building Products at the time, and then to the company, Dr. Squinzi and his family, and Nick DiTempura and Luigi DiGesso from MAPEI. These are just wonderful people. But you're in your career, we remember seeing you and your support and sponsorship. We've always asked you to support us over the years at the CTDA and the NTCA, and also your participation in Tile Council of North America. What do you find valuable about these associations? As what are your observations of the importance that our three organizations provide to the tile industry as you've served your career for us?
Well, I remember when I started back in '88, though, with Frank Devlin getting me, exposed to the associations at the time. So I have a good perspective of 30 some years of the evolution of these, not having been involved every year, but through the career. I mean, when I joined MAPEI, and then you asked me to join on the board of directors, I was really, really surprised and impressed by the level of commitment, dedication that the NTCA in particular had towards the development of certified contractors, professional workmanship, and so on, working with CTEF and so on. And that, to me, is the one thing that I see getting better. I see getting better in the sense that with the advancement in technologies and products and the variety of surfaces that need to be installed now, that professionalism is key to the success of our business, be it the NTCA with or CTDA with the distributorship, the membership they have. So I think overall, continuing the educational trend, developing contractors that are proud of their workmanship, and that also reflect well on everybody else in the association. So I've seen going from in '88, when 6x6 was a big tile, 6 inch by 6 inch. I mean, not 6 feet by 6 feet, but that was back then. It was really the development has been amazing. So I'm also proud working with the NTCA board during those 4 or 5 years I was involved with on growth that we all help support during those years.
The last fun thing I wanted to ask you with Real is, I'm getting, probably in the next 4 or 5 years, I'm going to be getting ready towards eventually getting out of the tile business and looking to see what else I can do in this world from a positive standpoint. What are your next steps as far as your career when you are ready to leave MAPEI? We're not trying to rush you, but what are your next steps? If I remember right, I think you invested in Spain. So tell me what you and your lovely wife plan to do as you move towards the last phase of our lives.
Yeah, we're not quite invested yet, but we're still looking. We're going to travel again this year. Yeah, the plan is for me, living in Florida. I live in an area, like a community that has golfing and tennis and so on. And if I when I decide it's time to hang up my trowel, then I'm going to spend a majority of the year in Spain. Particularly, we're looking this year. We're going to try and identify the place we want to be, and keep my brain going. Keep the discovery, increase my knowledge of Spanish. Traveling all over in Europe and so on while coming back to visit family and so on. But it's really, I want to keep my brain going as we get older. And nothing against the people who decide to retire in Florida playing golf. That's fine. But that's not what our plan is. Our plan is to keep discovering, as long as we can do it, and physically able to do it. That's what we want to do. So I've been blessed to work with companies that allow me to travel pretty much all over the world in my career, but never in the smaller parts of those various countries. And so that's our plan, is to do that. And no definitive date, but it's getting closer than further. So
That's right. Will you keep your place in Florida, or will you live in Spain?
we'll keep a place here, but probably not where we live now. It's
Sure.
going to be too big for our needs, so we'll probably find something closer to the ocean, and that we can lock the door for 3 months, and not worry about plants and worry about anything like that. So
Yeah. I'm somewhat selfishly kind of nudging you on that, because I've, like you, been fortunate to travel quite a bit, and I also have found Spain to be a really wonderful place, and maybe I'll live vicariously through you or follow your footsteps. So,
well, when we get a place, I'll send you my
visit.
address. You're more than welcome to come and
I
visit. So
look forward to it. Well, again,
yeah,
congratulations
thank
on
you.
this most deserving recognition. You've dedicated your career to the tile industry in a lot of functions for several great companies. The NTCA thanks you for your efforts.
Thank you, Bart. And again, really humble, but and really surprised and proud, though, that you guys have decided to give me this recognition. Appreciate it.
Look forward to sharing that with you in Orlando very soon.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Real Bourdage, who is a deserving recipient of the Joe Tarver Award for service to the tile industry from the National Tile Contractors Association. This is Bart Bettiga with Tile Letter Magazine and the NTCA, and thank you for joining us.